Here, grab soundbite 11. Show you how this works. This is Obama, and this is from his press conference on Friday, which, interestingly started after this program. Normally, Obama does these things at 1 o'clock Eastern time while this program is going on. And the objective there is to get some of our stations to bump out of this program and carry the presser. But this time did it after this program. So there would be no possible commentary about the press conference from me. So he's talking about the Republicans and Obamacare. And listen to this. It cuts to the quick.
My friends in the other party have made the idea of preventing these people from getting health care their holy grail, their number one priority, the one unifying principle in the Republican Party at the moment is making sure that 30 million people don't have health care. That's hard to understand as an agenda that is going to strengthen our middle class. At least they used to say, well, we're going to replace it with something better. There's not even a pretense now that they're going to replace it with something better.
Now, this is his characterization to low-information voters of the Republican effort to repeal this, because it is an abject failure. Do you realize after Obamacare is fully implemented, and for any of you out there who in the low-information crowd, well, normally you know who you are, but people in the low information do not know that they're low information. I mean, the poor know they're poor. The fat know they're fat. The ugly know they're ugly. Low information people do not know that they're low. They don't think of themselves that way. Nobody does. That's why when Romney started talking about the 47% that'll never support him, I mean, it wasn't the best thing to say, but most people in that group would not admit that they're in that group. So they could act righteously indignant that Romney would treat other people that way. But even after Obamacare is fully implemented, 30 million Americans are still not going to have health insurance. In fact, a lot more than that are not going to have it because it's going to be so expensive. But my friends in the other party have made the idea of preventing these people from getting health care their holy grail. So in a press conference, there's Obama saying the Republican Party doesn't want you to have health care, not health insurance. The Republican Party doesn't want you to get treated. It is patently absurd. There's nothing to back that up. That is an absolutely irresponsible allegation. But he makes it with impunity. Nobody in the press corps challenges him on it. And the low-information voters pick up on it. Yeah, the Republicans hate people. They don't want you to get well. You get sick, die. That's what the Republicans want. And this is what people end up thinking. When the entire anti-health care effort is based in saving the best health care system the world has ever had, Obamacare destroys it. Obamacare makes it unaffordable. Obamacare. I got an email from a female doctor who has treated me in the past for an ailment. Doesn't matter which one. And she's a liberal, by the way. She sends me this note talking about how impossible it already is to comply with this, and she's thinking of leaving the profession. Just it's unworkable, and she was talking about all the mess that electronic health records are and have become, and the place where she works is just more suited for a reality TV show than a genuine healthcare center, and this is happening all over the place. I mean, Obamacare is what is destroying the American healthcare system. Obamacare is what's pricing it out of reach by design. And it's like Dingy Harry says, we are but one step away from single payer. It's in the Las Vegas Sun. Senate Majority Leader Dingy Harry said he thinks the country has to work our way past insurance-based health care. He was on a local PBS show in Vegas on Friday night called Nevada Week in Review. When asked by panelist Steve Sebelius whether he meant ultimately the country would have to have a healthcare system that abandoned insurance as the means of accessing healthcare. Dingy Harry said, yes, absolutely. We cannot have a decent healthcare system that requires people to have insurance. Well, that's exactly what they're doing. Every week, there's a new story of this company here, that company there, pulling out of that state exchange over there, that state exchange over there, because it's not profitable to stay in it. And the objective of Obamacare from the get-go has been to eliminate private sector insurance as an option for people so that they have nowhere to go but government-run enterprises, be they the state exchanges or whatever eventually replaces them. The idea of introducing a single-payer national healthcare system to the U.S. sent lawmakers into a tizzy back in 2009 when Dingy Harry was negotiating the healthcare bill. But what's happened here is that he has slipped up. The mask has come off. And in this instance, Harry Reid has told the country what the end game has always been when it comes to Obamacare. If you take insurance out of the game, then what do you do for your health care? Your employer no longer provides it. You have to go to the federal government. They're going to end up running it. That's what he means. And we're just one step away from it. One step away. And that one step is getting rid of insurance. In another story, the Las Vegas Sun story I just treated you to does not mention this. But one of the things that Dingy Harry talked about on this TV show Friday night was blaming employer-sponsored health care as a benefit for the current morass. And he was accurate. He told people it started in World War II. In World War II, General Motors and others everybody needed qualified, really qualified employees. And somebody came up with the idea of adding health insurance as a benefit to employment. And that's where the whole notion of employer-provided health insurance began, as a benefit. And Harry Reid cited it. The post-World War II auto industry labor negotiations that made employer-backed health insurance the norm, so we've never been able to work our way out of that. Now, what he's saying is that's been the obstacle to single payer, which is something they've dreamed about for as long as you've been alive. But as long as you were able to get health insurance from your boss, you were satisfied. It's a great benefit. And they're in the process of tearing that down. And he just admitted it. It's just out there now. And that's why the repeal of this thing is so important. At least, even if it can't happen, an issue where the Republicans can distinguish themselves. I got to take a quick time out. Now, there were wage and price controls in World War II. This is so silly. This always has. There were wage and price controls, so employers had to improvise and come up with new ways of paying people because there were controls on wages. And that's where employer-provided health insurance was born as a benefit and a way around wage and price controls. And what Harry Reid is saying here is that's where the whole thing broke down. That's where the whole effort was derailed to go government-run health care. The unions were big on this, too. So it's a little bit of an anti-union statement as well.